this kid who just got, when I was watching the news, he crossed the border, right? And he got a cell phone, and he started a TikTok account. Had I don't know how many millions of followers, and he was telling them how to take advantage of crossing the border and all the free stuff they were given. Finally, they arrested this bastard, but
great.
He still has millions of followers. And here there are people who post some really great stuff. I mean, there's some great posts I see, and they get only a few likes. I'm not talking about me. I don't give a shit if you watch my show or not, or if you like me or don't like me. I'm just doing this because it helps me. It helps you. It helps everybody. And the more we talk, the more we share, it helps each other out. But we're looking at this person who gets 1 million hits or millions of followers on how to scam. He goes to jail, still has followers. He even apologized and said, "I'm sorry. I was just trying to get out of jail." Right.
Yeah.
So, but those are the, or somebody claims to be a woman that is a man, or somebody that claims to be a man that is a woman, or somebody claims to be a dog but is a cat, but it really is a pig. Here's the thing. I'm just saying, these crazy posts, millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people follow them, but you never see, not all of them. There are great people out there doing great things, but it's funny how they'll get more of that following than following people who have great things to offer.
And why is that? Because of an algorithm. It's all because of the algorithm, because the TikTok algorithm favors the shit. It favors smut.
Yeah.
So that's why. So you make something that's really wholesome and it's really good. It's educational. The algorithm doesn't give a shit about that because they know that they appeal to the primitive side of everybody's mind. So when you look at any of the social media, that's why you see the majority of it's crap.
Well, I'm going to keep sharing my faith on Sundays and what I've learned in church that day, and hopefully share it with other people in 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, a pastor or a preacher or anybody takes a lot longer, but I think I can sum out what meant the most important to me. Doing these podcasts on educational procrastination, finish what you start. And I mean, I don't know what the next one might be on is taking action. Or it might be on ask for help.
Or Hunter Biden with a hooker.
I'm going to ask for help.
How to hide a dead hooker with Hunter Biden.
Yeah, exactly. In the closet.
That's chapter 11.
I also want to start another podcast for youth ministry or youth inspiration. I mean, the youth could really use something to look forward to, some positive talk. I wish, like I said, technology has its pros and its cons. The pros, you can reach a lot of people, but its cons is that sometimes you get caught up in the wrong things. And I just hope that all of you who are out there will get involved with the positive side of life. And if you're a parent, come on, spend some time with your kids, see what they're doing online. Don't just because you're busy online. Here's what happens. A lot of you are too busy in your own world online that you forget about your own kids, your own family who are online and possibly, going to fall into the wrong crowd or an abduction or run away with somebody that's a lot older, get tricked pretty much and probably get caught up in trafficking. I mean, there's so much that you have to be careful with on the internet, and to be involved with your family and your kids and actually ask them what's going on. Have them show you technology. Have them show you some of the things that they go on or they visit because you're interested. You'll learn a lot, and maybe you can educate them along the way. I don't know how better to say that than get involved with your family, see what they're doing. Don't, everybody puts a computer in a bedroom for their kids. I made that mistake right at the beginning, and I took them out of their bedroom real quick because they were on sites they weren't supposed to be their boys.
Don't give them a phone. Just don't give them a phone. Very simple.
Oh,
no,
my girl will get a phone, but it'll only be able to dial of emergency calls of families and the police.
Or flip phone.
Yeah, a flip phone.
That's
And
it.
it'll have a GPS, and nobody will know where that GPS is going to be on her backpack, in her clothes, in her earrings. You will not know. But I'll tell you what, it could be on her watch. But if anybody tries to take her, I'll find you and I'll get you. I'll find you and I'll kill you. I know who you are. Anyway, but this is it's not. I love my family, and I know you do too. I love, protecting them, and not being possessive of overbearing, but getting involved, helping them understand, even sharing the stuff that we're talking about, procrastination, this stuff that you're learning. This is the stuff they need to know about. I wish somebody would have took the time to explain that with me, instead of just calling me stupid and a procrastinator, slapping me on the side of the head, and sending me on my way. If they would have just spent some time to teach me the effects of what would happen if I keep procrastinating, and don't finish what I start. Now, I can honestly say, I think what also helped me is sports. One thing, I don't know maybe it was what my parents instilled in me, but when I was young, Pop Warner, I followed a kid with shoulder pads on. I thought it was cool. It was a friend of mine. He wouldn't tell me where he was going, but I didn't even know why he was wearing those pads. I didn't even know about what American football was. I followed him all the way to his practice field in Mount Pleasant, which was about maybe a mile away from my house. And I walked onto this field and I saw all these kids with pads. They were my age. And what was I, a peewee back then? I was a little guy. But I played football for 8 years. But here's the thing. I walked onto that field and the coach walked up to me. Well, it was some guy at the time. I didn't even know he was a coach. And he's like, "You want to play?" I'm watching these guys with all these pads throwing the ball around. I'm like, "Yeah, I want to play." He's like, "Okay, are you a lineman or a back?" I'm like, I didn't even know what a lineman was. I didn't even know soccer, didn't know football. I was a young man. We just played on the streets. I said, "I don't know." So he put me on the line and I said, "But I want shoulder pads." I didn't even know they were called shoulder pads. I said, "I want the uniforms they're wearing." He says, "Come for 2 weeks straight. And if you don't quit on me, I'll get you the set." Now, I was poor. You know that, Glenn. When we came to this country, I didn't have money. It's funny because all the kids had like the best, and they came from low income families too. It's not that they were rich either, but they had the tube socks, right? They had the pads over here that they could afford. They had sweatpants under their, because we played during the winter, so they had sweatpants under their football pants. And my coaches, my Pee-wee, Pop Warner coach is still alive, Carmen DePolo. He was such a great guy, such a great mentor for kids. He he just looked at me one day because I didn't have spikes either. So I would show up in dress shoes, black socks over my pajamas, underneath my football pants, when he finally gave me the uniform, because I stuck with it. And he would like, "Hey, Veglio." I'd be like, "What?" He goes, "Are you going to bed after practice?" He would pick on me all the time. But here's the thing. No matter what it took, I showed up. And while other people quit, because most people quit like the beginning of the season, they'll quit right in the beginning because they don't want to run, they don't want to do the push-ups. I mean, who wants to do all that stuff?
Yeah,
right. I can sit home, take it easy. We didn't even have Game Boy back then. We had Atari, maybe. But the thing was, something told me you can't quit. And when I learned about team, it was supporting the team. It wasn't about me. It was about the team. If I leave, even though I was warming up the bench, I disappoint the team because I kept the bench warm for them. I got to play a couple times because I didn't know football. So I'll be honest, the first few years I sat the bench. But you know what? As a team member, I was there on the sideline rooting them on, cheering for them. I was a cheerleader in uniform. And I kept the bench really warm, and I'd give them water, but that was teamwork. Somebody had to do that until I got my chance to play. And I said I played for 8 years. I didn't grow. I didn't play for college. I didn't play for, NFL. But sports really taught me how to stick with something. And I think that planting of that seed stuck with me till this day. Even though I became a procrastinator later on, I know the importance of teamwork. I know the importance of sticking with something, which I have to say I stuck with here for 45 years. Even whether I did business and a whole bunch of other things, writing books and all that great stuff, I stuck with my profession. And people ask me to this day, what do you do? And I can sit there and say, I'm a CEO. I own businesses. I write books. I do platform work all over the world. I can go on and on. I say, I'm a hairdresser. It's funny when they look at me, they're like, no, you're not. You got to be working for the mafia. So I say, no, I'm under witness protection program as a hairdresser. And they don't know what to think.